Awakening, what it means awakening. Well, if you look around, you will find many definitions or concepts. But actually, what awakening is to create space for the soul to expand. Awakening is an expansion of the soul. And of course, there are many other things like releasing old patterns, even karmic patterns and belief systems. But all this happen like by default, like a side effect of soul expansion. And you have the beginning of spiritual awakening is always an effect of going beyond the illusion or the consensus reality, the tabloid reality, a shift of awareness and heightened awareness, enhanced awareness of what's going on. Moving beyond illusion, well, it happens when once we acknowledge and accept responsibility for our choices, the choices we have made in the past that brought us to this point. Then we let them go, But this gives us the pushing, the starting point of going beyond illusion, and in more practical way, it happens when we stop playing the victim role, This is what keeps people in the illusion, because they get addicted to play the victim, so they need to believe and reinforce the illusion in order to, for feeling self-pity, self this, self that, because this is what the victimhood requires. So when we change this perception of ourselves, we can change, the world, they say, reality. But basically what we change is our frequency, letting go things that don't serve us anymore and making room for soul expansion. When little by little, we realize that, we can take ownership of our thoughts, our life, and this is the beginning of the spiritual awakening. Little by little, we start connecting with, with ourselves in a higher energetic level, in a higher level of consciousness. And we become more in touch with our own intuition, we start trusting our gut feelings, our higher self talking us through signs, etc. We begin to realize that we are more than just the body, the mind, and at the beginning it's like this. Then we will even realize that we are even more the soul, but this is something that happened much later. Then when you start awakening, you start to align with other people, with people that, they resonate more in a higher frequency, people that are sent to our life to guide us, to help us, or people or souls whom we have agreements. And the more receptive we get, to read all these signs and everything, well, the greater is the shift of consciousness during the awakening, or the faster, let's say, is the spiritual awakening of a person. But during this stage of the awakening, it's super important, to learn how to release things, release the past, let go things that don't serve us anymore, especially not to identify ourselves with analytic mind, with the thinking process, which only create constrictions and limitations. Remember that whatever you focus your awareness, your intention on, is what we create. So if we focus on on lack of things, lack of money, love, freedom, whatever, we will create more of this experience for us. Now, once we can pierce through the illusion, through the veil of illusion, is when we really started the process of awakening for real, and kind of miracles start to unfold around us, or synchronicity that looks like magic, and miracles, weird things. The problem with this stage of, at the beginning of awakening, is that a battle is fought, a battle between the head and the heart. We still conditioned by previous, belief system patterns, etc., routines, victimhood, lack of self-confidence, we think we are not worthy of love, or we are wounded, emotionally wounded deeply, we haven't addressed our shadow, etc. So that is the moment that the head starts the war against the heart, it's the last battle. The mind tries to block your awareness of what is happening, and try to slow down the process, because the mind likes to be in control, doesn't want to lose control of you. So, it will fight for keeping in control, or keeping being the master of your life. But in this part of the process, the mind doesn't really know what is going on, while the heart knows. It knows what is happening. The mind is getting nervous about everything is happening. So how fast you can go, through this process? Well, it depends on your ability to let go, to surrender to the process, to let go, the comfort zone, the old, and move to the new. The mind will really get a grip on you, because this is the stage, the part of the awakening, that there is no turning back. Once you cross the line, the point of no return, well, the mind little by little will have to give up to the heart, to the intuition, to the higher self, etc. So this is the most difficult part, and is the part that many people, get stuck. And the mind will give you some nice things to play around, so you become a prophet, or you become a, something in YouTube or something in Facebook, put beautiful messages, quote, get many likes, and you think you're done, But this is where most of the people, and the New Age priestesses and the New Age priests and everything gets stuck. And if you continue in this expansion, and you continue focusing on the heart energy, etc., well, a breakthrough happens. That this happens when you have, let go enough of your old luggage, or your old identity, or because when you release, this old stuff, you start feeling lighter. You can see with more clarity what is happening. Letting go of all these things, it also produces some kind of, freedom, like personal freedom. You feel more lighter, as I said. You have some kind of inner peace and happiness. because you realize that what was making you unhappy and all the things are the stuff from the past that you identify with. So in this part of the awakening is when we clean up, all this toxic, stuff from our energy, from our soul, also from the exterior, all what's around us, like people, toxic jobs, relationships, things that, before we started to awake, for us was normal. This was life, but now we can see with a different awareness. And once that we clear these, the things that don't serve us anymore, this karmic debris, etc., not only we feel lighter, but we become a bit more conscious, aware that that we need to relearn many things or unlearn many things, So this stage is more like the caterpillar in the cocoon, when doesn't really know what is awaiting after but once I read something that says the butterfly is beautiful because the caterpillar is brave, or something like that. So this stage is similar to the cocoon. It's the stage when you go within and you start asking questions, asking to the inner guidance, connecting to your higher self, looking for higher guidance. Because you become trusting, your intuition more and more. You become more balanced. Your masculine and feminine energies move more into harmony, your yin and yang, and awareness continue to expand beyond, the collective awareness, consciousness, the tabloid reality, the consensus reality. So the next stage is what in shamanism we call the symbolic death, or the symbolic death and resurrection and rebirth, because as we let go, the old habit, the old patterns, the old paradigms, the old beliefs, we eventually come into full alignment with who we really are, or who are we meant to be. Our heart's desires start overriding, the mind, the logical thinking, and expands. The heart expands. We start, having a glimpse of what really love is, or unconditional love, or source energy love. We feel it around us. We feel it within us. Of course, we keep using logic and the mind, but we have learned to allow our heart, wisdom, our heart wisdom to unfold by gaining understanding, of who we are, or what are we doing here on this planet, etc. And this push us to find our mission, our purpose. At this time of at this stage of the awakening is when we start sensing that we are not here by accident or by whatever evolution. That we are here with a mission, with a purpose. And then we realize that our old ways, our old way of living, of relating, to people, well, don't serve us anymore, doesn't have meaning anymore. When we look around to our reality, our world, we have this desire to shift into something new, because the old reality, the old world, will not support our mission or our energy, our consciousness. It's the most amazing part of the process. Of course, it's not the end of the awakening by any means, but it's associated with this stage with the butterfly. Now you have wings. Now you can fly. Now is when you experience real personal freedom. And the next stage in awakening, in real awakening, not this false awakening that is going on sometimes in the internet or in the New Age community. Real awakening, it's when everything start coming together, like unification, union with communion with everything, or flowering, of the self. Flowering is beautiful because this stage is associated many times with the lotus flower. You know what they say: no mud, no lotus. But the point is that the lotus flower, it takes a long time to produce the roots. It's a lot of struggle, to create the roots that needs for the flowering. But the flowering happens very quickly. But when we see the flower, we ignore or we overlook all the time that the roots were struggling, to get all the nutrients, whatever, for the flowering. And once you flower, well, you enter this state of bliss, which is a very, very high vibrational state of consciousness, and unconditional love. And once this happens, you go to the next stage when you become magnetic. I already said many times that our feelings, emotions, we are big magnets. But the magnets have different frequencies. We are magnetic all our life, even when we are not awake. When we are in fear, we are also magnetic and attracted more fear. But when after the flowering, this stage of the awakening, what you become is a magnet of abundance. You realize that abundance is the only thing in the universe, and you are a magnetic force, pulling stuff towards your experience of life. This is the part that people talk about manifesting, like quickening the manifestation of reality, which is happening to many, many people right now, because you are in full bloom, and your thoughts and your feelings, are very powerful and will attract the information from the field of consciousness necessary to manifest the reality that must support your predominant frequency of the heart. And you will attract also, the right people, the right circumstances, the right places, everything that to accelerate your journey, towards becoming a full awakened soul, that you will be able to fulfill your purpose in life. But to do that, you need to let go all the defensive mechanisms, all the shields, all the things that are protecting you, because abundance of the universe comes with trust. Trust is, a very, very high vibrational thing. Trust is kind of a higher form of love to me. You should always trust, even if your trust allowed others to deceive you. This is better than not to trust. And then comes what I call the final stage of the awakening process, when you become one with everything. You understand? This is the what some people call the mission in motion. We are the world. Finally, we learn how to fly. And we help others. To in the process, and to we show them freedom, so they will start yearning for personal freedom. And we will help with our vibration, we will help others to, you know, to find out their divine mission, their purpose. So in this stage, I call it the meaningful stage, because you start, you know, making meaningful choices or meaningful relationships, or, you know, everything has to have meaning for you, you know. It's not, it's difficult to explain. You need to feel it, and then that's it. You know, you stay in this permanent bliss. You know, is a stage of harmony, balance, and connectedness to everything and everyone, or oneness with everything, if you want to call it. You know, but you know, I'm very practical, so okay, the theory, oh, you are in super bliss. You know, the thing is, in real life, well, you experience inner peace and happiness and joy and love. You know, that's what makes you, you know, vibrate as a fully awakened human being. When there is harmony, there is no conflict, there is no master in your life, because right now the mind, the analytic mind, is the master. I said once that when everyone is your teacher, no one is your master. So at this stage, everything becomes your teacher. You know, everybody, every happening, the skies, the trees, you know, the songs in the radio, the birds in the sky, your neighbor, everyone. You learn from everyone because you are connected to everyone and everything through inner peace, harmony, and balance. So for me, the problem is that, I mean, the awakening process of many people, happened to me too, that once you see through the illusion, which is the first step, you think you are awakened. That's it. I'm awakened. You know, I'm awake. You know, yes, you are awakening, but awakening is a process. You know, it's like love. Love is a process. If you said I love you, yeah, okay, it's dead. If you say I'm loving you, well, it's a process. It's keep going. So I'm awakening is the right thing. But as soon as you think you're awake, tack, the process stop or slow down. So this is how I see the whole process until, you know, you get into this blooming, until you become the flower, until you become the lotus in a magnet for abundance, bliss, and unconditional love.